Hello everybody. As we step into 2019, we know that we are playing a new game of golf under the new rules. The R&A and the USGA have put together a lot of new rules to simplify golf rules, which a lot of people think are very complicated. Just to make sure that it is not that complicated and to make things simpler, faster and quicker, we have new rules coming into operation from January 1st, 2019. Therefore, those of you who are playing golf, you must know that you have to follow the new rules of golf from today. We have a lot of videos floating out in the market saying that there have been 20 rules changes, 30 rules changes, some of them saying 25 rules changes. Let's try and assess what the rules changes are, and let's go through the rules changes that every golfer must know. First and foremost, the time for searching for a lost ball has been reduced from 5 minutes to 3 minutes. You will no longer search for a ball for 5 minutes. The moment 3 minutes is over, you have lost a ball, you either go back and play another ball, or if you have played a provisional ball, the provisional ball will become the ball in play. There are plenty of normal procedures or the dropping procedures that we used to know earlier, which were covered under Rule 14. First and foremost thing is that you will no more be dropping a ball from your shoulder height. It will always be from a knee height. Knee height is defined as something standing straight with your knees in standing posture. You will drop a ball from that height, and there is something known as a relief area within which the ball must come to rest. Therefore, drop from a knee height only. The ball must come to rest in the relief area and play your ball from there. The rule is that when you take a procedure of dropping a ball back on the line of play, such as when your ball has gone into a penalty area, or a ball is unplayable and you take the option of going back on a line, you must mark the spot where you wish to drop the ball. And once you have marked that spot and you drop a ball, the ball cannot roll further ahead of that marked spot. It must be dropped behind the marked spot, and only that the ball is in play. Unlike the previous years, the major change out here is that again the ball will be dropped in the relief area, not in the earlier rules as per Rule 20-5, where you drop the ball where you last played from. You have a much larger relief area within which the ball must be dropped and come to rest. The ball will be played from such an area. In the process of looking for your ball anywhere on the golf course, looking for a lost ball, if you accidentally move your ball, there is no penalty now. You will replace the ball, which if not known will be estimated and placed in that position. You will not drop the ball, you will place it in the nearest place where the ball was, in precisely the lie that you found, that you thought the ball was in, and continue play from there. When it comes to other matters of lifting a ball in play, like for example feeling that your ball is embedded, you need not have to make the announcement to your fellow competitors or your opponent that you are lifting your ball. You may do so on your own. There is a lot of trust that goes into these actions. It's always a wise thing to inform your player as to why you're doing it, but there is no penalty if you do not do so. There is now no penalty if your ball hits your own player or your bag. There is no penalty. You just play the ball as it lies. On the putting green, you might repair almost any kind of damage that has occurred, basically due to animals or spike marks being caused by players, footprints. All these actions which were prohibited earlier can now be repaired. You may go ahead and repair them without incurring any penalty. As long as you do not create a path to the hole, the ball will be considered. The matter of repairing marks on the putting green is permitted. You can now putt with your ball in the flagstick, with the flagstick in the hole. There is no penalty if the ball strikes the flagstick while doing so. All these small actions are done with the sole purpose of increasing the speed of play. In fact, the speed of play recommendations are now that every player must play his shot within 40 seconds if he's the first to play, and 30 seconds from further on. Pace of play is a very strict action that must be taken by the player, and the emphasis is on how fast you play the game. On the putting green, if you mark your ball and lift it, and after it is cleaned and you put the ball back into play, if the ball is moved by any force such as the outside agencies or any natural causes like wind or water, the ball will always be replaced. It must be replaced, and you do not play from the new spot when it comes to rest. The ball must be replaced. It's like the ball owning that particular spot once it has been lifted. If the ball has not been lifted, then the wind blows it to a new spot, you play from the new spot. The difference being that the ball has not been lifted. In the first case, the ball was lifted. Therefore, if the ball has been lifted and you replace it, you will always play from the spot from which the ball was replaced. Penalty areas rephrase the term for water hazards that we used to know. They're no more called water hazards now. They're going to be called penalty areas. And the committee has got the leeway now to mark any area, whether it contains water or not, as a penalty area. Of course, if it's going to be an area containing water, it becomes a penalty area pretty automatically. Otherwise, areas from where the committee thinks that playing is going to be pretty impossible, or finding a ball is not going to be easy, they can mark such areas as penalty areas. And in majority of the cases, depending on how the course has been laid out, you will find that the penalty areas have been marked mostly in red, which means you have the lateral option. Unless it is covered by a local rule, from now on you will find that you have no relief of taking a drop from a penalty area marked in red on the opposite side of the golf course. It has to be on the same side unless it has been covered by a local rule. Again, you cannot take relief from a penalty area unless you are 95% absolutely sure that the ball is in the penalty area. You cannot come down to the conclusion that since you struck your ball towards a penalty area, the ball is in the penalty area. 95% certainty is a must for you to proceed under the penalty area rule. In bunkers, you can move loose impediments, and the normal procedures apply to a ball which is unplayable in bunker, with the extra option of dropping a ball outside the bunker, but you incur a penalty of 2 strokes. That is a new addition which has been made to the rules. Bunkers, you cannot test the condition of the hazard. You may do anything to take care of the course, such as raking the bunkers, as long as it does not improve your own line of play. Therefore, unraked parts of bunkers can be raked even if your ball is in bunker, but you should not take practice swings. Neither should you do anything ahead of your ball or behind your ball when you are playing the ball from the bunker. You should not test the condition of the hazard. Do not touch the condition of the sand in your backswing, and all other movable obstructions, loose impediments, etc. may be removed. If the ball moves in the process, you incur a penalty of 1 stroke and you replace the ball. Another major change which we have is there's a difference between what happens in the general area of play, which earlier used to be called as through the green. In the general area of play now, a caddy cannot assist you in aligning you for your shots. If a caddy aligns you and you happen to get yourself aligned, you cannot avoid the risk of getting a penalty. Therefore, ensure that the caddy is not anywhere close to you when you align yourself. Golf is a game of skill. This is an ability which you must develop on your own and do on your own. On the putting green, a caddy is allowed to advise you on your line of play. He might stand behind you, but here the player must step away from the ball and start the whole process on his own again. If he does this, he's absolutely fine. If he does not do this and he has a caddy standing behind him, indicating the line of play, the line of putt, and the player does so, he will incur a penalty. As long as the player steps away from his line of putt and readdresses the ball and goes through the whole process again on his own without anybody standing behind him, the actions are okay. There will be no penalty. I love the new changes to the rules of golf, and perhaps we shall go and watch some of the players in action to discuss greater details and depth as to what the new rules are applicable. Come on, let's go.
Golf is a great game, and it's even more fun if all the rules are followed by one and all. Really looking forward to the rule changes of 2019.
I think the new rules of golf are going to speed up the game and increase pace of play.
The new rules of golf, because it makes the game very easy to follow and play for everyone.
I think the new rules of golf have been condensed from 34 rules down to 24. They're much simpler rules to follow, so I think we all should learn the rules and play by the rules.
Love playing by the rules. If you're well versed with your rules, you can use them to your advantage.